Welcome everyone, and I wish you all a very happy Christmas on this 25th of December 2019. Today we are going to learn how we can prepare our customer avatar. Of course, my example will be tailored to my niche, which is Learn Online Tutoring. However, we'll start with the concepts from yesterday's class with Deepak sir. So we'll first replay over the video because I've already done some essential work on the video. I've already prepared some of the timestamps for those times in which we need to go and examine the video. So let's just first go over there and look at the video now. So here are the timestamps already, as you can see clearly on the screen. Now these timestamps are all going to take us through very specific points. I know I created it 2 hours ago, but well, I ran into some bit of distractions on the way, so that's very relevant to me because I got delayed while starting off the class due to those distractions. So due to those distractions, now I have to put my phone on DND and stop my discussion for this point. Otherwise, this video is never going to get made. So I gracefully exited out of that conversation and set about preparing this video, uploading it and releasing it in the group before lunch. Now on to the video now. So here in our timestamps, so we've just now implemented the first step, which is put the phone on silent mode. So now that we have put the phone on silent mode, we can now focus on what's being delivered here in the class. And the first concept that we discussed in class was how to implement the learn, do and teach, the golden triangle. So when you have the golden triangle, learn, do and teach implemented, we have the opportunity to not only understand things in a better way, but at the same time show others the path on how to implement it better. That's the most beautiful aspect about the golden triangle. It's something that resonates with me as I work and how I do activities. And now I'm now going into the third step, the third stage, which is to help new candidates learn how to effectively tutor online. Of course, with the golden triangle, then there are the next topic comes under what are the major mistakes that we often do during the communication and all. You can go over the video because they have been explained in beautiful detail over the time. Then you have your ability to market yourself, to make good conversations, authenticity in your conversation that helps you communicate better. That's why I've kept the webcam feed on, because seeing me talking to you directly by looking at the camera, you will get that feeling of authenticity when I'm actually engaging you in a heart-to-heart conversation. That's what I want to do with this webcam on during this video. Then our next point, who becomes a better marketer? That's where the topic of our discussion is now going to come up. Who is a better marketer? And you can only be a good marketer if you have a relevant experience to share with the community. If you have a good experience to share with the community, you're going to stand out amongst your competitors. You're going to say, I am the authority to help you become a better online tutor. So looking at the different options in my particular niche, what I see is I am at the moment positioned at the precipice of my niche to deliver an effective learning session. That's why my level 1 course is going to be titled Online Tutoring Blueprint. Now, of course, you might wonder what the hell I'm talking about. So let's now come back onto the presentation here and let's look at the future slides coming up. So with more life experiences, how you become a good marketer, now we have to know how to define your target customer, how the target customer can be defined. So here it is at this point when we are defining the target customer that we are now going to learn how to construct our avatar. The construction of our avatar will be the person or that identity to which we have to relate to. A person who is going to accept your teaching and is willing to pay you for that service. That is a customer. And for that, then we went into a type form. Ironically, when the type form was released, I slept. So I was on my couch while watching the video of the webinar. I slept off. I think I slept off for around 16-17 minutes. I slept off. Yeah, the timestamps clearly reflect that I have slept off for around 17 minutes. But it's all right. While making the timestamps, I was able to rewatch the same sequence and understand what I missed. And then this also only re-emphasized my points on how to create the customer avatar. So now, on with the customer avatar. Now let us go and see about my own personal experience with creating customer avatars. I want to now share with you my own experience of having gone through this process of creating the entire customer avatar. And this opportunity I got this opportunity since June of this year. In June of this year, I had the opportunity to actually interview candidates who are going to be online tutors in my company. So naturally, I had to go through around 150 to 200 applications in science and math. An HR intern assisted me with the scheduling. So we did a schedule, and around 2 to 3 interviews a day. That was the maximum we did, even with a half an hour schedule and all that. But while doing those interviews, we are always able to gather pertinent points regarding the customer, just like Deepak sir's customer avatar template. Now, Deepak sir's customer avatar template is focusing on his particular niche. That is, he wants to market a particular product to that general category. So let's now revisit Deepak sir's customer avatar template. So here is the customer avatar template of Deepak sir. It's there in an adjacent tab. Yes, here you go, right nearby. Can you see the avatar template? Yes, you can. Okay. So here, the first one is an age-related demography. That is, Deepak sir is looking for middle-aged people. My bad. Millennial. Yeah, we can say millennial. 25 to 34 is the millennial category. All right. And probably most of them were urban, right? Those were living in the urban sector. Yeah. And depending on their annual income and their level of education, he just wanted to check out whether it would be forming a good category in which you create your persona on. So then you have several other questions that just continue to keep on adding data, like adding more and more data. Now, even if you entered, do you have pets, it's very difficult to classify. Like, there may be goldfish lovers, there may be cat lovers, dog lovers, cat lover here. Okay. Now, types of sports, these are all conversations or fillers, I might say, added to just keep the candidate interested. However, now coming back to my niche, however, my questionnaire would have been even more detailed, because here this is about a recruitment process. So naturally, when I make the recruitment process, it's going to be with the resume of the candidate. So with the candidate's resume in hand, I'll already prepare some pointers and all that. The pointers are there in a confidential file which I cannot show in this video. But having prepared those pointers about the candidates, because the data from the questionnaire will all be collated into a single Excel sheet or a OneNote file, depending upon how you choose the output to come into. That's where the essence lies, because you are now understanding the candidate before you go into the one-to-one. So let's now go back and examine the slide where Deepak sir talked about the one-to-one. So when he talked about the one-to-one, that was creating a connection with the customer at the 35-minute mark. So let's just see that video now. So how Deepak sir addresses the customer: addressing people by their first name, joining their conversations, and interacting with them, just like we had the demo with Sagar, our good friend Sagar Balirao. You can see the entire interview here after the hour mark. Sagar Balrao comes on a one-on-one, and Deepak sir already has an insight on Sagar because Sagar has already completed this customer avatar template in the type form by filling the type form. Similarly over here, now coming back to my customer avatar template, my customer avatar template has already been created when I accepted the candidate's resume into the interview pool. So once I've accepted the candidate, this Excel sheet that you see, you can see that in this Excel sheet there are actually three separate sheets. One is a list of candidates that went into round 2, then is a list of candidates who were waitlisted, and the list of candidates who were rejected. Of course, all of these details come only after the one-on-one interaction. The one-on-one interaction is the location where you are actually having the opportunity to get the details of the candidates, because then now they are coming on for a session with you, a one-on-one session, and in that one-on-one session you have the opportunity to examine the candidate as he or she delivers a lesson. So of course, with all those data and all that, I just don't want to bombard you with too much data at this point. So now let's look at some real examples of candidates who have done this interview process. So I'm just changing the window here. Let's see here. Yes, let's start with biology, one of my favorite subjects. So here was a candidate who underwent the interview. Now here, for this candidate here, as we went over the interview, there was a lot of opportunity to learn how the candidate presents the subject. So beginning how the presentation begins will tell me a lot with how the student is going to be treated in the class, and these are all factors that I have to consider, because a candidate which just recites like a lecture from college, they are not going to get their points across. You have to connect with the student heart to heart. Only if that connection can be established, the student will want to learn from you. And if the student can learn from you, then the student will also recommend their friends to sign up with the company. And if you are a standalone tutor, the student will bring his or her friends also to your list. That way you will get more customers through the positive feedback that you create. And this tutor very efficiently was able to put those points across. Now those handwriting is mine. I pretended to be the student which is very interactive and ask questions and all that, but I only did that because the tutor was very active in putting out those points across. So whenever those points came across one by one, it was very interesting. This tutor was able to very effectively put out separate names for those parts of the flower, especially for me. In biology, I am more comfortable with zoology or physiology, but then when you're talking about botany, it's like a gray area for me. But these aspects about botany, they just came up, and when I asked those names, the tutor was able to say they are just synonyms, Hemant. That's all. So simple and effective her presentation was. I selected her, of course. And later on we just had more continued discussions. Exactly, yes. Now the class is coming up, and here we go. This is the best part about being an effective online tutor. You should assign homeworks to the students to follow. So for my customer template, I have found the ideal candidate in this particular example. Similarly, you will have the opportunity, by preparing an efficient customer avatar template, to generate suitable candidates that are going to purchase products from you. And when they purchase products from you, you make commissions on those sales. You are going to be able to do a service to those customers and earn monetary rewards from those. Come the end of the day, it's the money that has to come in, right? And we are all in this for the money, of course, and the money that you get will always be proportional to the value that you provide to the customer in the end. Hope you can resonate with my lesson on the customer avatar template. So I was putting up a context in the context of my own niche. My own niche was my focus here, because I can only deliver an effective session by talking about my niche. And if I went into economy and stuff like that, I would surely flunk in that lesson. So hope you like this lesson. Put down your comments below. I'd love to read them. And once again, wish you all a very happy Christmas, and I'll see you in the new year as well. Oh yeah, we are not having any internship classes in 2019, right? So I guess we'll see you in the next year. So happy new year everyone. See you in 2020. Cheers.